Hey there, Anna McKinlay here, success coach and well-being coach. And today I want to talk to you about how to avoid one of the biggest pitfalls that most people fall into, particularly during busy times, like the run up to the end of the year and the holiday season. And it's really one of the biggest ironies of our modern life. For most people, when the pressure comes on, when we get really busy, what is the first thing to fall off our list? The first things to fall off on our list almost invariably are those very things that actually help us to be more resilient in times of stress. What are they? Good exercise, good nutrition, sleep, and also relationships. I'm just going to focus in this video particularly on the exercise piece, but the same principles really apply to all of them. So, and as I say, this is one of the biggest ironies of modern life. Why? Because those four things I named, exercise, good nutrition, sleep, relationships, those are the things that help us as human beings to be the most resilient and to boost our productivity and effectiveness, which we need more than ever when we're busy, right? And what happens, we get busy, we say, I don't have time, and we drop those things off our list. So I'm going to give you a little bit of motivation, and then I'm going to share with you how to actually get into action. So, bit of motivation. Why is it important to make time for exercise, particularly when you're busy? Because exercise is actually going to give you back more time than you put into it. Let me share with you why. When we exercise, and when I'm talking about exercise here, I'm not just talking about going to the gym or going for a run. I'm talking about any beneficial movement, and particularly movement that lifts our heart rate. Even if it's just to the point that I can still talk but I sound out of breath, that's enough. So it can be anything. But look, what are the benefits of that? Firstly, when we move, it gets the blood flowing through our body. What does that do? Well, the blood carries with it oxygen and the nutrients that our body needs to have energy, to feel good, to be well. And in particular, the blood flowing brings more nutrients and more oxygen to our brains. Why is that important? It sort of goes without saying, right? But by bringing oxygen and nutrients to our brains, it gives us more mental energy, reduces mental fog, right? And helps us to be more effective, more focused, and to get more done in less time, right? So, a lot of people notice that when we really are trying to get something done and we get to that point that we hit a mental wall, just going for a short walk around the block or just getting up and stretching, even if it's just for a minute, when we actually come back to it, we find that mentally we're much more effective and productive. That's what I'm talking about. As well, when we exercise, when we move, that gives us access to positive chemicals that our brain releases, which helps us to feel more positive, to feel happier, to feel more optimistic, to feel better. And when we're in that emotional state, again, we're much more effective and more productive in what we do. Now, cardiovascular exercise for 30 to 40 minutes for most people is particularly good for that. And it's different for different people. But what I'm talking about here is what a lot of people talk about as the runner's high. At some point during exercise, for most of us, our brain will release good feeling chemicals that help us to, that basically lift our emotional state. So, and again, the intensity of that and what it takes, it varies from person to person, but it is there. On top of that, when we do something and accomplish something, whatever it is, and no matter how big or small it is, when we recognize that accomplishment, we go, yes, tick, I achieved something. What happens is our brain releases another chemical called dopamine, which is a major motivational chemical for us. And the beauty of it is that it actually doesn't matter how big or small the accomplishment is. It doesn't matter whether I exercised for 2 hours or for 5 minutes. If I pause and I recognize and I acknowledge myself for the accomplishment of just doing it, my brain is going to release a hit of dopamine, and I'm going to feel good about it. I'm going to feel that sense of accomplishment, and I'm going to feel more motivated. And then I'm going to bring that to the next thing that I do. right? So there you go. There's 3 good reasons there why exercise is beneficial to you, particularly when times are very busy. Gets the nutrients and oxygen flowing around our body, and particularly to our brain, and so boosts our energy, reduces mental fog, and increases our productivity. Potentially gives us access to additional good feeling chemicals that boost our mood, and gives us the sense of accomplishment of having achieved something. Now, there are many, many other benefits from exercising that will help you as well. Exercising is one of the most effective ways as well that we can improve our resilience to stress. So if you're feeling stressed right now, getting some extra movement and getting some exercise and getting outside to do that particularly is going to help you to be more resilient. So I hope that that's served you. So how do we then actually get out of but I'm too busy, I don't have time to exercise, and actually into doing some movement? The number one thing is recognizing that that voice that says, I don't have time, is just a voice in your head. And I'm going to be really blunt, it's wrong. You always have enough time for exercise. It's about shifting our mindset around it and recognizing that doing any form of beneficial movement is better than doing nothing at all. So if you can't take an hour out to go to the gym, can you take 5 minutes to stretch? Can you choose to take the stairs instead of the lift? Right? Can you find ways to work movement into your normal day? For example, walking around while on the phone instead of sitting down. All of these small things, and those are just some examples, I'm sure you can think of many more. All of those are ways that we can build more movement into our day, even when we're busy, and you are going to experience the benefits, particularly if you're consistent with it. So I hope that that has served you. Scroll down now and share any insights or ahas that you've gained from this video in the comments, or even better, if there are particular ways that you like to build movement or exercise into your schedule, even when you're busy, share it in the comments below. Thanks so much for joining me, and you have an awesome day. Bye for now.